Hello again, friends, and welcome to another segment here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. I don't know how long it's been, but it has been quite a while since I have been on here to share some exciting stuff about wine and spirits. So, I've been traveling, I've been busy around the yard. As you can see behind me, we're now full into the end of spring and enjoying some lovely weather in these parts. So, if you can read my shirt, you know what I'm going to talk about today. But it's going to be more than just that. If you remember, the last post that I made for you was just some pictures, and we spent about 10 days in Tuscany, all around Florence, out in great vineyards in Tuscany, and I posted a lot of pictures for you. I hope you enjoyed them. We've been back a while now, and the consensus among all the people that we went with is we want to go back, and we still miss Italy. So what I'd like to do to help share some of that with you is over the next couple segments that I do, I'd like to feature some of the highlights, I'll call them, of the things that we did. Specifically, we visited 4 or 5 good wineries. I'll do different segments on each of the wineries that we visited and feature their wines for you. But today, I want to talk to you about, that I've done a Negroni spot before, but now I'm going to do one for you because I was actually at a very important place. So before I tell you our little journey, let me say cheers. And you can see I'm having the quintessential lunchtime drink in Italy called this Aperol Spritz. We're not going to talk about that today. I'm just going to drink it to keep my throat wet while I talk. Just if you've never had a Spritz, it's 3 parts of some sparkling, usually Prosecco. It doesn't have to be. 2 parts Aperol. You can do a Campari Spritz and substitute Campari for it, and then a little splash of club soda over a lot of ice. Keep it real cold and throw a little piece of fruit in there, usually an orange. So that's the Aperol Spritz that will be sipped a few times while we talk here today. But what I want to talk to you about is the Negroni. So when we were in Florence, and we had been in Florence about 12 years ago, but we didn't get a chance to really tour the city the way we did this time. We actually stayed in a hotel that was about, I'm going to say maybe less than a mile away. It is the famous cafe where the Negroni was supposedly born. So let me give you the, the boring news, or maybe you'll find it exciting. So the Negroni traces back to 1919 in a cafe called the Cafe Cassoni in Florence. So it's over 100 years old. It supposedly was invented by a Count Camillo Negroni, who asked the bartender at some point to take a drink called an Americano, which is just the sweet vermouth and the Campari with a little club soda in it, which you can still drink now, but he wanted it stronger, so they substituted gin for it, and voila, the Negroni was born. So Cafe Cassoni lasted about 8-9 years, and in 1927, the Giacosa brothers took over the Cafe Cassoni, and they then heralded the real birth of the Negroni and made it their signature drink. And they've become the guardian of the recipe over the years. So they held that restaurant until 2017, and then it was shut down. And excuse me, I made a little mistake there. It was called the Cafe Giacosa back then, but the Giacosa brothers were not totally involved. And in 2017, the place closed. They reopened it. They redid the place, and it is beautiful. And if you remember, you probably don't remember, but I posted some pictures, and I'll repost pictures of the inside of the bar area. It was on a street called Via Bonaboni, and it was right kind of like on a corner. Took some great pictures. So that's the history of the Negroni. Now I can say I actually had a Negroni with some friends in the birthplace of the Negroni. So inspired that I had to buy a Negroni t-shirt. So I'm also going to make one for you today because I had the good fortune of being able to secure some really good Italian gin. And let me tell you something, Italy's famous, obviously world famous for wines, but they have some really good gins. And they are very regional about it. Italy is very protective of what they do in their different regions, and the gin is no different. So what I'm going to do is I'll talk about the Negroni as I make one here for you. but very specifically it has a London dry gin, and this is a tin gin, which is named after an Etruscan god, and they took that very serious. The name of the god was Tinia, so they call this gin tin. And this I just bought right from the hotel we stayed at in Vagno Bignoni, and not really going to talk much about that today, but that's the gin that's going to go into this. We've got our Campari, and then we've got our sweet vermouth. And they kind of recommend an Italian one, and this one is an Italian one. So I have Antica Formula by, this is done by the Carpano group. You'll see Carpano. You'll get this pretty much anywhere. So let me move them aside, and we're going to put the ingredients in. You start out with, they recommend with this gin that you up the gin content just a little bit, because the sweetness may drown it out a little bit, the sweetness of the vermouth and the herbalness of the Campari. So we do 1 part each. Pour them over ice. And there's your vermouth. And then we take our Campari, which gives it that beautiful red color. And you only need 1 ounce of that, 1 part. Put that in there. And then if you happen to have a spritz while you're getting thirsty, you take a sip of that first. Oh, that's good. It's very hot out here today. Glad I'm sitting in the shade. I'm going to be in that pool soon. So we'll move that aside. We stir it up gently, just to get everything infused. We set that aside. And then the one thing that they recommend is you keep your glass cold, which I've done. So I've got a nice iced glass here. Thank you, Morgan and Jeff. This is my Doc G cocktail glass. And the one thing that is essential is they want you to use this very large ice cube, because they want the dilution to be very slow. And the interesting thing that I learned in Italy was I have been drinking my Negronis all wrong. You are supposed to have it over ice. I was not doing that. So, so I was at the birthplace of the Negroni, and it came with ice in it, and I was like, oh, I guess I've been drinking it wrong. I have always frosted my glass, but I have not always put ice in it. But it's better, actually, I've started to like it. It's better cold. And then the pièce de résistance is an orange twist into the glass. And there you have it, amici. Your Giacosa Negroni. Perfetto, as they say in Italian. So there you have it, my friends. If you're interested in this t-shirt, I'll post the company where I got it. Neat little outfit. A friend on the trip noticed we like Negronis, and she sent me a link for this company that sells all kinds of food, alcohol, activity kind of t-shirts like this that are kind of cool and funky. So there you have it. So next time I come back, I'm going to talk about one of the wineries that we visited along our way in Tuscany. But until we meet again, or as they say in Italian, a presto. Arrivederci.